She was an American girl. Okay, so lots going on this week. Down in Calexico in for the second time, uh, up north as well. Did 13 counties all in. We had visited some of them 2, 3 times, and we're pleased to be able to accomplish that. So we're going to get started here. Hannah's calling now, and we're going to go ahead and start the interview. Thank you for joining in. This is Joseph Cabrera, gubernatorial candidate for the state of California. Hello, Miss Hannah. How are you?
Hello, doing well. How are you doing, Joseph?
Well, a little tired, but you know what? I'm catching my second wind.
Oh, very good. Is now a good time for you to talk?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Do you mind if we're live on YouTube and Instagram?
No problem.
Wonderful. Shoot. So tell me about yourself. And I'm fairly familiar with the Desert Review, but it was nice meeting you, by the way, on Friday. And if you want to share anything about yourself, that'd be wonderful.
Sounds good. Yes, good to meet you. So, Hannah Larson, I'm a news reporter with the Desert Review in Brawley, and we cover various stories around the Imperial Valley, including in Brawley, El Centro, Coldville, Calexico, and surrounding areas.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, what questions do you have for me?
Yeah, if you could just start by telling me about your background and then this shift into politics. What inspired you to run for governor?
Absolutely. So, I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley by and large. I went to school at Polytechnic in Pomona, University of San Francisco. I spent most of my career in commercial banking, about 25 years worth. Was in the financial services sector in the insurance space. I did that for a few years, and currently I am an administrator for a mental health clinic. So, as you can imagine, nobody wants to go into politics by choice. I actually had a desire to go into politics sometime back, however, not at this level. My desire was to run for Congress. So I had a bit of a setback about 10 years ago. And so this opportunity came about, and I see a real opening in this time period for a independent candidate such as myself. I was a long life Republican most of my adult life. Not happy with the goings on in the Republican Party at the moment. Not really in agreement with the Democratic Party either, hence the no party preference.
Sure. What do you see that you can bring to the table as an independent candidate?
Sure. I think there's a serious dissatisfaction with both main parties right now. I've talked to thousands of people, several of which were diehard Trump supporters, and they've been very disillusioned with that party. On the other side of the spectrum, folks like myself are by and large tired of the silly laws and the high taxes that we're seeing recently. As far as what I bring to the table, I'm a numbers guy, financial analytics, finance. I understand the numbers. I feel that we don't need more lawyers in Sacramento. We have plenty of lawyers making several laws. We don't need a cop. We don't need any billionaires or politicians as usual. The only difference between analyzing the financials of a multinational corporation, which I've done with the state of California, is the numbers are just bigger.
Mhm. And what is your experience in that with analyzing financials?
Sure. Well, in financial analytics masters, this is exactly what you do. So looking at public private companies and really getting down to the bare bones of the company, every sort of ratio that you can imagine. Very boring stuff probably for most of your readers, but sure, just making sure whether obviously an investment is good for a person on the individual level, but also as including with asset allocation for institutional investors.
Sounds good. And so tell me more about your campaign, what your goals are, and then if elected, what your goals would be as governor.
Sure. Well, as we talked a little bit on Friday, our primary initiative is one of mental health and medical care in general. And so we feel that if we can get the mental health epidemic, which I believe there is one in California, we can go a long way to solving some of the challenges that we have, not only on the socioeconomic side, but the financial side too. So, with regards to mental health, there is quite a problem with the Board of Psychology. So, as I said, I'm currently an administrator for mental health practice. And so, when we bring on a new therapist, a new doctor, typically it takes between 9 to 12 months to see client one. And as you can imagine, post COVID, most folks are calling around 5, 10 times before they're even able to talk to someone, by and large. Much more difficult to actually get an appointment. So we feel that if we can knock that down to 3 months, it would help tremendously with some of our population that are looking for services. Excuse me. With regard to some of the other priorities, initiatives. So we really believe in being fiscally responsible, making sure that our bills are in order. One of the first items I would install is a moratorium on non-essential spending. I feel that before we move on with additional legislation and funding for programs, we need to figure out where the bleeding is and stop it. Um,
Sure.
as far as social justice, well, I don't believe that anybody is very happy with what's going on around the country with regards to deportations, legal or unlegal. And as a person of Spanish speaking descent and a lifelong Republican, I have the ability to see both sides of the coin. And so I don't believe that anybody really has a problem with someone deporting someone that's here undocumented. Just like you and I, if we ran a stop light at in front of a police officer, we would expect to get a ticket. And so, where I think most people have a problem is once you start humiliating people, beating them, and even killing them. Why that's a big problem. So one of the issues that I took a bit with the Republican Party is how they were going about instituting these policies. It's not that I disagree with the policy itself, it's just the implementation. Um, Same goes for some of the conflicts, wars, whatever you want to call them around the world. I don't believe that we should be getting ourselves involved in other countries' problems. I feel that we have enough problems of our own right here. As a career banker, I'm obviously pro business. So, I helped tens of thousands of businesses in my career. And being a business owner myself, I feel that I bring unique skill set to help small businesses in the state, particularly with bringing costs down with regards to insurance, income tax, of course, fixing the labor board and workers' comp so that small businesses were able to do business in California. I mean, at the end of the day, what are we going to do if all the employers leave California?
Sure. Can you go into more of the specifics of where you work as an administrator and then more of the small business background?
Sure. So the small business would be as a commercial banker. So I did that for 22 years or so, and I started out by and large at the bottom rung in the banking industry over the years, working with not only individuals but smaller mom and pop stores. Eventually leading to a vice presidency and working with larger small businesses to middle market companies. With regards to the administrator, I'm currently in that position and also a business owner.
Sounds good. And can you describe just more in specifics for me of what those companies are?
I'm not sure I understand your question. The companies that I worked with or the current company I work for?
Sure. Yes, both, please.
Sure. Well, the small businesses, mid-market businesses were everything from HVAC to, oh gosh, pie shops to clothing manufacturer to folks making widgets of every sort, importers, exporters. The company I currently work for was born out of COVID. So it was started, and thereafter, as you can imagine, went from 0 to 700 clients overnight. We've employed at one time over seven therapists, round the clock, really. And that was basically put together from zero, from scratch by me.
Sure. So, can you tell me about your roundtable in Brawley, where you met with some AIC leaders and small business owners, and what that included?
Sure. Well, as you can imagine, not being a well known candidate, it's actually been a challenge to meet with some of the business leaders. By and large, Hannah, um, I'm not that interested in meeting with the powers that be, as it were. What's important to me is the voter that has, by and large, said, you know what, I'm giving up on the system. It doesn't seem to do any good for me to vote or not vote. So that is what we're targeting. Targeting small communities like Broadly, like Calexico. We were up in the Central Valley a couple of weeks back. We were in Madera just yesterday. And so, California is more than San Francisco and Los Angeles. And so, wherever I can, obviously, I'm happy to talk to the business leaders, the reporters in the area, the media, and really anybody that I can get in front of. But for the most part, it's been individuals and it's been small business owners because that's where my heart is.
Sure. When you did have that roundtable, can you tell me more of what you discussed about the impact of regulations on the farming community?
Well, as I said, it's been a challenge to get business leaders to show up. I've talked with several business owners. Um, it was basically to answer your question. I think what you get, it was non-existent. Business leaders
Okay.
weren't just interested in showing up, and that's okay because I can discuss my vision as I did in Broadly when we met with individuals, and hopefully we can raise awareness to the point where the business leaders, directors of the cities are paying more attention. I feel it's tragic that an area like Brawley, Imperial County, has an 18% unemployment rate, and
Yeah.
nobody really paid any attention to it until lithium was found there. I was there actually lending to a bok choy farmer maybe 15, 17 years ago.
Mhm.
So I've known the area. I wasn't admittedly, I wasn't aware of some of the problems that were down there, more so now. But as I laid out some of my plans for the area, one of the bigger ones would be obviously to close the revenue cycle. It seems like there's a lot of revenues that are being generated in the area. They're just not being reinvested in those areas. So, as I understand it, you have farmers that have farms in the Imperial County, but also in the Central Valley. And so, what seems to be happening is the money doesn't stay down in the Imperial County; it gets moved up to Central Valley and invested there, put in banks there, and probably back east somewhere with some of the larger banks, investment houses.
Okay. So your goal would be to see more of that money stay here in the valley.
Well, it would make sense. Why not develop areas that are depressed economically? One of the things that we were talking about with the folks down there is, uh, in my opinion, the train to nowhere, as everyone calls it, would have made more sense down there, where, as you know, when trains came west from the Midwest, large towns popped up almost overnight. And so when you look at the population settlement of California, you know that only 5% of the state is actually populated. And when you think places like Los Angeles once were like Coachella or Barstow, it's not hard to imagine that we can actually turn those areas into one that is inhabitable for people, and a train would go a long way in doing that. But why would you invest in antiquated technology? We're talking about a train that, okay, it goes a little bit faster than modern trains. But when you hear that Amtrak's on the verge of declaring bankruptcy, well, nobody's using that mode of transportation. So a much better solution, I would think, would have been to do something that's a little more modern technology, such as a magnetic levitation train. China's done it, Japan's done it. That's future technology, and at very least, had they built that on the other side of the Sierra Nevadas 395 corridor, you are right in the area to put people in at very least, right, our national park. So if you've gotten zero
Yeah.
use other than that, folks would have been able to do that. I've talked to people all over the state, and it's a shame that several folks have lived in California their whole life and have never been to one of our beautiful parks. But that aside, this train would have been able to now bring supplies into those areas, water, materials for building, and so on, which is also a part of our mass plan for California, is to get those areas populated, built out, work with the builders, give them all the permits that they would like, but help out in not only building homes for profit, but building homes for nonprofit. So, as an example, if you took Horton or one of the other builders, you would say to them, "Hey, look, we're going to give you all the permits that you'd like, but we'd like you to start building in these areas. And for every 100 homes, for instance, that you build for profit, you're going to build another for nonprofit, maybe for a deserving veteran that might be on the street. And by the way, they may even be able to participate in the building of the dwelling to give them a sense of home ownership." Um,
Okay.
that's part of all that. Obviously, there's no water in those areas, and so one of the other uh, proposals was desalinization plants and aqueducts from the Pacific Ocean. So by using the Earth's natural heat, we could create geothermal plants that would obviously allow the train to function, create more electricity for the grid. I know the data center is kind of no-go down there, but presumably electrify that. And at the same time, while you're desalinizing the salt for the power plants, then you get additional potable water for these areas. So with these builders, you would say to them, hey, look, yes, this is the type of home we want, energy efficient. And by the way, they have to use this water and be able to recycle it 5 times and then put it out as gray water into the garden or what have you. So we could talk for hours on what we're looking at, but these are some of the highlights. Yeah.
Sounds good. So on your website, you referenced the quote humanitarian crises of homelessness and mental illness. Mm-hmm. What is your approach to these crises, specifically when it comes to Southern California?
Right. Well, we talked a little bit about how we would take care of the some of the housing. Prices are just too expensive. And so as I see it, there are companies out there that are buying up homes and renting them out. They're not offering and putting them in the market for purchase. And so there's a huge move to do that. So obviously, constructing more homes would be part of it. The second part of it, ADUs, allowing for additional ADUs. And there seems to be a coastal exodus for most of the nicer areas in California, where millionaires are now being displaced by billionaires. And people, for instance, from Orange County are moving out to where I am, which is Corona. I understand most of our city council now are folks from Orange County. And so we have to be able to create additional housing in those areas. And whether we eminent domain properties in those areas to provide for multi-dwelling facilities or some other approach for folks to be able to, for instance, if you're single and you can't afford a, your typical 3-bedroom single family residence, then you could possibly either rent or buy an apartment in those areas. With regards to the mental health, what we talked about, the fixing the board of psychology and helping folks get the treatment that they need. We feel that if we get folks the mental services that they need, they would be able to function as parents better. As some of our therapists here have told me that worked in the correctional system, by and large, 60 to 80% of men that are in these facilities are either because there was no father in the home or an absentee father. So if we had gotten to these men before they got in trouble with juvenile or other services, then they might have not entered in those facilities. The same goes with children. If we were to be able to test children before going into TK or kindergarten, why we would find things, whether they have ADHD or autism, and therefore teachers would be able to better work with them, given their special way of processing, if you would. And it goes for homeless folks. I'm actually currently working with some folks on advocating for veterans. And though I've been in the mental health space for 6 years, I didn't realize that vets don't always start with mental health challenges. Oftentimes it's as a consequence of being on the street that they develop these challenges. But we feel that with fixing the board, we can go a long way to really making headways in those 3 areas. Back to the incarceration population, as you may know, the largest mental health clinic in the state is actually in the correctional system. And as I said, we've had various therapists that worked with us and also worked in the correctional system, and they're not trying real hard to rehabilitate those folks. It's more the case that like dental care, they're required to provide them with it.
I see. So what would be a goal to help those behind bars have that better rehabilitation?
Well, there's other models I think would work better. At very least, it would help some of the incarcerated men and women to leave the facility for at least a few hours and seek mental health treatment. I've heard from therapists themselves say about a third of therapists probably don't belong in the industry. And so, obviously, making sure that therapists are of the highest quality, whether that is putting them through a more rigorous board to make sure that they're perfectly apt to provide quality services and actually help folks. You may be aware of a process called EMDR. And so it's by and large for folks that have had severe trauma. And so, with that process, for instance, if the therapist is not very well versed, they could end up doing more harm than good. And on that side note, by the way, there is a movement to uh, prov- install more prisons for pay, of which want to induce, I should say, um, mandated or forced uh, mental health, which, when you consider EMDR, if it's hard enough letting somebody in your head that's got good intentions, now, if someone's forcing some sort of um, mental change on you, then you can see where justice might just go out the door with getting them in the incarceration uh, spot first, but then declaring them incompetent. And now we might have mental health or state hospitals that are for pay too. Does that answer your question? I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for. Would like
Yes, yes,
more
thank you.
examples of type of um, changes.
Yes, thank you. That's helpful. I wanted to go back to something you referenced a bit earlier and ask for more of your position on data centers, seeing as that is definitely
Mhm.
a hot button topic right now.
Sure. Well, I've asked and inquired with several folks in your area, and it seems like there's um, sort of a 50-50 split. Some would like it, obviously, particularly folks in leadership, it seems. And the average person has some sort of trepidation with regards to health issues and what that might cause in an area where they feel there are already issues of health related to air quality and so on and so forth. And the obvious question, where would the water to come to run these data centers, right? Well, I've talked about a solution already, bringing in water from the Pacific, desalinizing, and using that. I feel that obviously I'm for the folks of California. If they don't want something in their area, I don't think they should have it. But having said that, there is an opportunity for the Imperial County to profit from this, monetizing such projects and providing yourself with a future cash stream for generations to come. So, obviously, in that instance, you would not just give over the land, say, okay, put our people to work here for a couple of years, and that's it. We own the land, we own the data center. We profit from it, not you. Um, so if they were able to manage this appropriately, I feel that it could be a good thing for the Imperial County and its residents, um, having looked at both sides.
Sure. Well, thank you for the
Thank
interview
you.
today. I wanted to wrap up just by asking, what is your message to California voters and why should they elect you as governor?
Sure. Well, we tell people, and we mean it from our heart, that we start from a point of humanity. If we can look at each other and see a human and ignore the labels for just a second, we've come a long way to solving our problems. Like everybody else, most folks just want to live and take care of their families, have an education for their kids, be able to afford their state. And so, as I alluded to early, most people are tired of this party or that party, and being at each other's throats for being one or the other party. This is not the way California has been. I've lived here 55 years, and once upon a time, it was a great place to live, and it didn't matter whether you're brown, blue, purple, what ideology you were. You were still able to be friends, and didn't have to worry about the things that we worry today. I believe that we're overregulated. It's hard for businesses to do business in California. The tax situation is just completely out of control. And having been at a meeting with the treasurer of the state of California, current treasurer, and her mentioning that her office takes in $2 trillion, which I thought was interesting. It seems as if there are funds to go around for all of the projects that we need, roads, all the essentials, uh, medical, healthcare, schooling, without having to raise taxes on folks on a regular basis. Whoever gets up there is going to have a challenge. As we've heard, there's been a $2 billion shortfall in the 2026-27 budget. And whoever gets in there is going to have a hard time in bridging the gap without coming up with innovative and creative solutions for generating revenues on behalf of the folks of California and keeping those additional taxes down, if any. Um, yeah, lots of problems, housing, getting that in control, food prices, and we've looked at that. And as I said, I can spend 4 hours with you going over these things in more detail. But it's going to be a challenge for anybody, and I don't think that politics as usual is going to do it.
Sure. Sounds good. Well, thank you again for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to add or be included in the article?
Well, for our Spanish speaking folks, I would like to say that we haven't forgotten about you. To the farm workers out there, they should know that I'm completely for them. And I feel that your jobs are uh, absolutely essential jobs, and that you should be afforded every single benefit with that title. For the people that, yeah, that have been basically set aside and marginalized, and have kind of given up on the system, I would say um, we need a person with empathy.
Sounds good. All right. Well, Joseph, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you so much. And it was a lovely uh, meeting you Saturday. And I hope to have a chance to
Yeah,
meet with you again.
sounds good.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your afternoon.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Goodbye.
Well, that was interesting. Gubernatorial candidate Joseph Cabrera with Hannah Larson of the review. So I hope you enjoyed that. We'll go ahead and restream this again, and we'll talk again here soon. Going forward, we'll have obviously more information for you as things go on with the election. A little under 30 days. Been working very hard around here to get to this 58 counties like we promised. and are people working very hard for the people of California already. So thanks for joining in, and we will talk to you soon.